Intuition is a dangerous thing. Humankind has long sought answers. The truth about the stars, ourselves, and all of our reality. Reality defies understanding. Humankind takes shortcuts, leaps in logic, guesswork, acceptance of truths unproven. Reality defies understanding. We use our greatest asset, our intuition, to see the forest without the trees. Overconfidence is a killer. A predator evolved to avoid the notice of its prey, the greatest dangers to humanity lurk above and outside of our perception. Reality defies understanding. Yet we try anyways. Intuition is a dangerous thing. Last time, everything went to shit, but it got better. Y'all went to that farm. You that was 2 sessions ago, actually. You went to the farm, but the sheriff showed up last session and just started shooting people. So you all did the same thing and started burning everything down while fighting the sheriff, because you were not going to go down without taking this place with you. And take this place with you, you did. Climbing out of that barn were those 3 of those dog things you have seen before. These weird fungus crustacean things that are massive, like the size of a bear, but just not any kind of anatomy that makes sense to you in any way. These things were on fire. They were screaming with the sounds of many voices or just TV static, and they ran off into the woods. Most of you died fighting the sheriff. The sheriff eventually, however, much like last time you had seen him, or last time you had all died, I should say, sort of melted after one of the voices said, "Terminate the experiment." And then the 2 remaining members who were still on their feet, High Tide and Hunter, began to sort of melt themselves. Not as violently or as quickly, but they started crying blood, they started vomiting, they started getting extremely weak, and it was not long until their hearts stopped. Then you all heard drums and screams in the distance. Drums like thunder, screams like every voice that has existed ever, all in unison. A fucked up, twisted song that makes no logical sense, but sounds like a song to you regardless. You're starting to see it with your ears. You see with your ears. That's what you do. And then you all woke up, and you called each other to make sure everyone was okay. But Hunter has slightly different plans than the rest of you. At the moment, I don't believe anyone has been in contact with Agent Hunter, as he has been trying to find public transport and or walking, hitchhiking, any method he can take to get closer to that barn, closer to his truck where his weaponry is. That's where we left off. It is the morning of the 6th, Monday, the day it all went down previously. So, some of you... Yes, go ahead.
Do we need to roll sleep stuff, or do we just wake up with the same disadvantages we had?
You wake up with the same disadvantages you had, yes.
Dang it.
So I believe that's Hematite and High Tide are very eepy and pretty sick.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna start chugging coffee this time.
Yeah, I woke up and I was sitting in the hotel lobby just chugging coffee.
You're not practicing your skateboard moves? Because you're pretty sick.
True.
It's 1997, man. Skateboarding isn't a crime.
Exactly. Exhaustion rules, if you're gonna be chugging coffee all day, roll a d6 to see how many hours your first dose will last. Alternatively, you can
Wrong
go for
slash.
illegal
I think
drugs.
I need to do that also.
Potentially. I don't remember who all it was, but that might be. Alright, so each of you have a few hours. 3,
I think
2,
two
and
of us
3.
were fine this morning.
Yeah, I think
Oops.
it switched from Hallow and Hunter to High Tide and Hematite.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
because we both took sleeping
Yeah.
meds the day before.
Yes, so I think Hunter and Hallow are fine. But Hematite and High Tide, you are fine from your exhaustion for 2 hours and 3 hours respectively, until you're gonna
Right.
need some more.
I failed the sleeping thing. Like,
Yes.
failed the check with meds. Does coffee mess with that?
Failed the check with meds.
Like, I took sleeping pills and failed anyway.
Yes.
Oh.
No, you can still do it. It's fine.
Okay.
I see what you're saying. No, you.
I remember there was some other thing for failing with sleeping pill, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Yes.
I
If
think
there
that
was, I
turns
think
it
it
into
was
a
that
critical failure.
Wasn't it that you're unaffected by stimulants? Because that's why Hallow was rolling so well, rolling so low all day that one time.
This is potential. Let me double check if this was for sleeplessness. Yes.
For my sleep disorder.
Yeah, it's a little fuzzy because the rules say the agent is sick the next day and takes a minus 20% penalty to all tests until they get a good night's sleep. But then the exhaustion rules also say exhaustion is a 10 or 20% penalty to all rolls until you get a good night's sleep. So I guess, yeah, since the rules about taking stimulants are under exhaustion, they don't apply to the meds version? Question mark. We'll go with that. So yeah, I guess you can't take stimulants. We'll go with that ruling. I think that's what I said previously. So yeah. So I guess hematite cannot. Like maybe you are chugging the coffee, but it's just not doing anything.
Sounds good. It's just making me more jumpy.
Yeah, I think potentially what might be part of it is it helps you stay awake a little bit, but you're just really sick and like hungover feeling, and it's just not good. Whereas high tide, you are good for 3 hours until you're gonna need some more doses of something.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like Hallow will find me in the lobby, just like chugging coffee, and I'm gonna pack a couple to go.
Let's go.
I'll just confirm with them that I talked to Hematite and where's Hunter?
Oh, I don't know. I woke up and I came right down here. As those drums, all that weirdness. I didn't like it. Just came
Oh,
down.
you
for
heard that
coffee.
too. That's not good.
Did I see anything weird with the mold as well, or was it just the drums?
When you died and woke up,
Yeah.
just the drums.
Okay.
I guess we'll check his room. If he's not there, that's a problem. All right, we'll
Have you
figure out
tried
what
to
to
get
do
a
with
hold of him
Hematite.
today?
No, that's right. We do have phones. I'll give him a call.
I can go ask the concierge as well.
No, this is probably better. Just step outside and call Hunter's phone.
All right, we hear just a basic phone ring because these are your burner phones you have. I was gonna
Yeah.
ask what is Hunter's ringtone, but it's not your phone.
I don't think
so-
he knows about ringtones.
Okay, so we hear the chirp 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 of a basic electric phone.
Yeah, he's gonna pull it out. He's gonna just like stare at it for a minute. He's gonna just put it back in his pocket. He's not going to answer.
Where do we see Hunter at the moment? Is he just walking?
Well, he's trying to get to his truck as fast as possible, so I think that's up to you as to how close he would be by this point.
Okay. Are you trying to
Either
hitchhike
walking or hitchhiking. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I like if you're hitchhiking, let's do like a charisma check just to see
Oh boy.
if he looks like, people are just
he
gonna
is
pass
also
by
a
him.
surly boy.
Yeah. People feel safe enough to pick him up, He might look a bit crazy right now.
All right. Yes. Statistics.
I was gonna say luck, but charisma's more fun. I guess it would have been an equal roll either way. Critical failure.
Does he look like a serial killer? Because that's how he's feeling.
I guess so.
This is a man who has clearly been thinking deeply and seriously about kidnapping people for the last 48 hours.
Yes, I think what's gonna happen here with this critical failure, you're gonna see just many cars pass you by. You keep holding out your thumb, trying to get people to pull over and see if anyone will, and you see so many people pass you that clearly make eye contact with you, and they just look away quickly, and they just don't want anything to do with you. And you start to feel kind of helpless, but you're determined to keep walking. But this helplessness, I'm gonna have you roll some sanity. It's gonna be a very light sanity loss here potentially, but okay, so 1 point of sanity loss to helplessness, as you're starting to feel like you really need to get there. You're obsessed with getting there and burning this thing down, and just the universe is not helping you here. You're feeling like nothing you're doing is getting you closer to that goal, but you just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
All right, I just hit my breaking point.
Oh no!
Perfect. It's your breaking point
Outstanding.
from not being picked up hitchhiking.
With 1 point.
That's so good. Okay, well,
just when I thought this day couldn't get any worse.
the disorders for helplessness are addiction, depression, anxiety disorder, conversion disorder, dissociative identity disorder, enclosure-related phobia, and obsession, obsessive compulsive disorder, and that's the whole list.
Gosh.
And conversion disorder, I wasn't sure what that was, but you lose a sense during an episode, and you become temporarily blind, deaf, or paralyzed or numb whenever you suffer sanity loss, basically. That sounds pretty rough.
Yes. I feel like, given everything that's happened, depression would make the most sense.
All right. So during an acute episode of depression, every skill or stat test costs 1d4 willpower points. DM that to you so you can copy it into your sheet.
Thank you.
So we have you you got intermittent explosive disorder and now depression in 2 sessions. It's very bad for Hunter.
Oh, this poor kid.
I can only imagine it's gonna get worse. Alright,
We
do
are-
I now hit reset next to my breaking point, is that correct?
That's correct.
Alright.
We are all adapted to violence at this point, so
I'm also almost adapted to helplessness.
But I think at
Well,
this point,
it just reset for your helplessness. Yeah.
Oh, true. Yes. When you reach your breaking point, you reset any being adapted to a category if it's not complete yet.
Oh, gotcha.
If it's in progress, yeah.
If we're adapted to it, it's just forever.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay! I mean, I think I can double check this, but I think there might be home scene rules for getting therapy. And I mean, there are home scene rules for getting therapy. There may be rules included in that for unadapting yourself and getting some of that emotion back. But yeah, for now, that's where you're stuck.
Go spend a weekend in a pile of puppies or something.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, then I guess I'm walking.
So we just see Hunter trudging down the side of a highway, just walking in that direction. He'll get there eventually. What are the rest of you doing? You did not reach Hunter by phone.
go talk to the concierge desk, see if he checked out of his room.
Let's see. So
Or the
I was kind of
hotel.
picturing a motel, but you could go to like the front desk and like there's no uh hmm. Is that information they'd even give you without flashing a badge? I feel like no. So there's just there's a guy on the younger side at the desk. He looks maybe in his early 20s. And he just looks like he has been up for the graveyard shift at this point, and he is looking very tired and just not wanting to deal with anything. But yeah, you find him there, and what do you ask him?
If he was up for the graveyard shift, he was probably there for when we arrived last night, and there were 3 of us. So I would
Probably.
say, hello, did you walk in with me?
You guys probably
was
arrived
it-
at separate times, right? Because High Tide got there earliest, and then Hollow got there, and then Hunter got there because of the timing of the cars arriving, and Hunter was delayed.
No,
No, because
I
I think we
was-
picked High Tide up from Hematite at
the
the
hospital.
hospital, and then all 3 of us went to the motel.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Okay, so yes, then all 3 of you would have been here together. Yeah.
But for this, I think I'm getting my car ready because I'm expecting us to, get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Then I would walk in there and say, "Hey, so I don't know if you remember, but myself and 2 of my colleagues walked in here pretty late last night to stay, and I was just wondering if any of them had checked out for the night or for the morning."
Sorry, you're up early for getting here so late. You've been sleeping less than I've been working. You should get some more sleep.
Raise my coffee in hand. Work's got to be done.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I'm supposed to tell you that he's your friend, right? Can you just call him?
Yeah, we tried to call him, but he's not answering, and didn't seem to be in his room.
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion test, I should say.
Minus 20%.
Minus True. Well, no, because you took coffee.
Oh,
Still a failure, though.
It's probably the like deadness in my voice. He's just like, okay.
Listen, man. I don't like this job, but I need this job. I can't just break policy like that. I can't give you that information.
All right, that's fine. And I would just put the key on the desk and walk out to the car.
All right. So
Can I
you're
be
out.
searching Billy's car?
Yeah, absolutely.
truck?
Give me a search roll. And this will be, you have a plus 20% on your target, or no, minus 20% on your target, right? So you would actually have needed a 43. So that is a failure. So you start, I mean, I guess you would have been. How are the keys handed off last night? Did you have to hand them to the hotel staff and go get that from them again this morning before Billy does?
I
Before she just had the keys and dropped them off with the doctor in the morning.
yeah.
Yeah, but Billy
So I
was.
still have the keys.
You dropped them off in the morning. Okay. Trying to remember. I could have sworn Billy was waiting for you in the lobby before and had already been seen by the doctors and was ready to leave.
He had.
Yeah, and he was waiting for the keys.
Okay.
Yeah, so she went in and was basically had to give the keys over right away.
Okay.
We didn't even get a chance to look at the truck.
All right. So Billy's still waiting for you inside. You have the keys. So yes, you can open the car then and look around inside. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, you really just don't find anything. Looks like a pretty normal truck. He's got a few like bits of trash he hasn't quite thrown away yet, kind of thrown into some pockets in the truck, and like there's a few things that got just kind of kicked underneath the seats and stuff like that. But it appears he doesn't really keep much like in the truck itself.
But no funky headaches or hallucinations.
Nope. I mean, except for the one you're just suffering because sleep.
Yeah. All right. Then I will wait until the others show up.
All right. Do the others show up? Are you going straight there? Or are you going to find
Yeah.
Hunter? Okay.
I think we'll keep an eye out for Hunter on the way to the hospital if he's at all along that road. But if we don't see him, we're not going to pursue quickly. We're going to check in with Hematite first.
And I'll keep ringing him like every 10 minutes.
So Hunter, you keep getting called every 10 minutes.
I'm just gonna turn it off after
All
probably
right.
the first couple calls.
Eventually, yeah.
Once
you
I figure
stop-
out how to do it.
you stop being able to connect the call, High Tide.
All right, then I would stop and say, yeah, something might be wrong.
All right, and you guys arrive at the hospital, and you find maybe you arrive while Hematite is searching the truck, and that's the timing.
Hematite, you find anything in there? Also, we don't know where Hunter is. He turned off his phone.
Haven't seen Hunter. Didn't find anything.
Uh,
I feel like I went out partying and got blackout drunk 2 nights in a row.
I feel surprisingly fine.
Okay, well, why don't you take a look? Because the ringing in my ears is not helping my ability to focus.
Yeah, I'll give it a poke. Stand back just in case. You never know what's in there. He'll also get his Polaroid camera ready just in case.
All right.
Back in a sec, I have to hand a chat off.
Mm-hmm.
Just making notes.
Yes. Do you want me to click the roll for you while you're making notes?
Sure. Just
Hello, rolling a search roll. Boom. That is a success.
this man is so hot lately.
Yeah, it's true.
All these low rolls.
So Hematite gets out of the way, and you get in there and you start searching like under floor mats and just everywhere you can. Maybe you even like slide the chairs around. You try to pull out any of the cushions that you can, or things like that. You look everywhere you can possibly think of. Up in the wheel wells, even like nothing. There's nothing amiss. It's a very normal truck.
Well, whatever was going on, it wasn't in his truck when we gave it to him today. So we can give him his keys. Maybe it was really just bad luck that he came to this farm or to that farm, considering what else was
Maybe.
there.
All right, I'll head into the hospital and give Billy his keys.
All right.
Check in with
And
the doctor again.
yes. If nothing else, if you wouldn't ask any different questions, we'll just see a fast forwarded version of that scene as you walk in, you exchange the keys, you converse back and forth, and then Billy leaves looking happy that you've promised to go speak with Merle today. And yeah, gets in his truck and heads out.
All right. Where do we think Hunter's going? Where would you? Do you think Is he going to his truck? Is he going to the farm? Is he just running off into nowhere?
Whose truck has the flamethrower? Is that Hunter's truck?
He's also got his shotgun, and I know that's usually his go-to, so wouldn't hurt trying to get over there and see if his truck is still at the motel.
Yeah, because we need his truck, for nothing else. Just remember not to talk to the reporter guy this time.
Yeah. We'll not tell him anything. Hi, Ted. You still riding with me?
Yep. Raise my coffee.
Hematite, do you want to ride with me also? Just for the sake of all being in one car? I don't think splitting up is the plan anymore.
We just need to torch this place and hope that they don't see us coming this time.
We also, we need to get there, not have the sheriff on us, and be ready to torch the entire place inside. All right.
Hematite,
Mm-hmm.
can you give me just a quick intelligence roll? I think there's something that might have been lost between sessions there that might be something you may, as one of the characters, the only character you saw inside that place, might put something together here. All right, even with your hazy state right now, you're trying to piece together that previous day and figure out what was weird about it and, what you could potentially find out about it. Trying to figure out any kind of clues you could uncover from it. And you realize while you were in that barn, you saw 3 of those little gray dudes running around, tinkering with things. And then when the barn burned down, 3 of the quote dogs unquote came out of the building. You did not see any of the little gray dudes.
Do the gray guys turn into dogs?
Do you ask
I don't
that
know,
out
like
loud of
we-
your allies and they just
Yeah,
hang in
like
silence?
I would
Yeah.
muse well, there were 3 of those nasty things, but none of the little gray guys came out, and didn't see any dogs in there the first time around. So maybe they that's their fighting form or something.
So you think
don't know,
maybe
that
if we
was-
get all 3 of them before they can turn into dogs or take all 3 of them down, it'll be over?
We can certainly try. That's assuming there's nobody behind the scenes observing and running from a separate location. But I think that should be our goal: is target the 3 guys first and
You
burn
think
down
we
the
could?
building second.
They talked to us the first time. Do you think we could try and? Or okay, so here's a question for you, GM. Because I'm adapted to violence, would I even think about talking to them anymore?
I think you would. You just wouldn't have a problem with violence. It's not
Okay.
necessarily your first go-to. It's just there's no longer a part of your brain that's like is opposed to it, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah. Okay. So they talked to us the first time, so maybe we could try and talk to them now, find out what this experiment is, and if they're not compliant, then we torch them.
I mean, whatever you guys decide. That was the first time I've ever seen the dogs, and I've never seen the little gray people before. So
What do you mean you've never seen a dog? One nearly ran you over.
no, I don't. I didn't. We were in the house, and then all of a sudden, I woke up in a truck stop the next morning.
How did we never talk about this before? What the? All right, we can talk about that more later.
I mean, they lied to us the first time, and they're
They
running
did.
experiments on humans. I don't think they deserve a second chance. They clearly don't see us as beings that deserve to have a say in our own destiny, whatever. If they'd come in peace, then we wouldn't have had the issue last time.
That's quite fair. All right, so plan A, then. I've got my shotgun. I think I might have one more in the trunk. So we can go in, we can try and blast them first, and then torch the place. If dogs come out, then we definitely have to torch it.
Well, remember that the silver stuff didn't respond so well to blasting, and I don't know if that's part of the alien genetic makeup or part of the experiment.
Oh, that's true.
I think we're just gonna want to go in flamethrower blazing and hope we're fast enough.
Can we try? It seems like the flamethrower was great for the outside, but I don't know. High Tide, you actually landed some fire bombs inside, right? That's where everything
Yeah.
actually was. Everything was super on fire when it was coming out.
I mean,
Oh yeah, fire was good against those guys. I watched Hunter burn two of them alive.
if we can get some of those. Oh wait, Scott Adams is the one who had the ladder, right?
Yeah.
He did have the ladder.
But it is on the outside of his truck.
If we have to liberate it, we can think about that when we get there. Speaking
we
of,
could
can we
also
have been
see that.
driving for part of this conversation?
Yeah, I think so.
I also would try Hunter's phone one more time.
Doesn't connect. But as you guys pull onto the highway, you eventually do see Hunter walking up the highway in the direction you're heading.
There he is.
We'll pull up slowly next to Hunter.
I instinctively put my thumb out. Then I realize
I see the
my
thumb,
arm
like,
flops down to my side.
yeah. Where you going, champ?
Just wanted some air, that's all.
Well,
No one
I'm
else
glad we
picked
found
up?
you, because we're about to head to your truck to get the flamethrower to burn that barn down.
Really?
That's right.
I didn't think you guys would. I figured y'all would just kind of stand there talking about it and about how we gotta go talk to somebody else and how we can't do anything just yet. Alright, fine. If we're gonna do this, let's just do this.
We tried
Oh,
that
yeah.
last time. We know the gray guys lie to us, and they clearly don't care about killing people for their experiments because that little boy is dead.
We also can't risk having, the sheriff be alerted beforehand either.
And Scott Adams didn't work out, so yeah, we know where we're supposed to go. We know what we got to do. We just got to get in and out as fast as we can.
I'm also not a fan of waking up again. I mean, I would love to, but on a different day.
Yeah. So let's go get my truck. Let's get some cans of gas. We want to make sure when those things run out this time, they don't have anywhere to go.
Speaking of, I'm pretty sure the gray guys turn into the crab dogs.
Why do you think that?
Well, there weren't any crab dogs in the barn, and none of the gray guys ran out of the burning barn.
Maybe you're right then. We'll just kill everything. Then we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I think at this point, if it moves, if it burns, it burns.
All right. So you guys arrive at the motel where Hunter's truck is parked. Do some of you split up to get in Hunter's truck? Just Hunter, or anyone going with him?
I'm definitely going my own trick.
One of us should go with Hunter, just to make sure. So Hematite would probably go with Hunter.
I would stay with Hallow because there's better to have 2 and 2.
Yep. Also, somewhere along the way, I'll get into the trunk and probably through the access in the back seat rather than opening the trunk, exposing everything to everyone who might be outside. Retrieve the shotgun and the Molotovs that he has back there, and just like get them ready on the floor of the back seat.
Alrighty.
All right. Just getting everything ready and easily accessible.
Should we also try to get that ladder?
We could just buy a ladder from a hardware store.
Yeah. If we
Well-
can stop at the town
Yeah, I mean, you could just get a ladder somewhere. That's not too bad. You don't need to steal one necessarily. You could steal one. I'm not stopping
yeah,
you, but this
I was
isn't
just
a.
gonna think like run by the town hardware store,
This isn't
Okay.
a.
get some rope and a ladder.
True. You could do that. I do like everyone's thinking like this is a point and click puzzle adventure though, and you need to like find the one guy with the ladder and like bring him the thing to trade or steal it from him. But no, okay. Yeah, you go to the hardware store. We can just kind of skip over that. The local hardware store, you get a ladder and a rope, and off you go back towards that farm. The seemingly abandoned farm that has that barn that is locked up and full of fungus and stuff, mold. You pull up, you see the spot where just last night Billy's truck had been, kind of parked in some of the crops and all of that business. But otherwise, the place is just like you saw it the previous morning. You probably even arrive at a similar time, since you spent some more time to like pick up things along the way and discussing Hunter before leaving the hospital and all that kind of stuff. Probably lines up pretty closely with when you went to talk to Scott Adams. And so you arrive here at roughly 11 a.m. It's about that time, near noon. What do you do? What's the plan?
Alright. If we set up the ladder quietly, we can just start chucking Molotovs in, right?
I think we need to put gasoline around the base of the barn, then we need to make a ring of gasoline and another ring outside it. We light it from the outside, then we light the next one, then we light the barn. I think if we just throw Molotovs in, they're just gonna escape.
We should also throw Molotovs in first, though, because that helped a lot, I think.
Yeah, I think yes, get the gas thing. Maybe part of why I got this rope is we could set it on fire, and I've got a cigarette lighter. Small, but we can use the rope to give ourselves a little bit of a timer.
Okay.
And need to make sure the inside goes up, and whoever has the flamethrower is stationed right in front of the doors.
I'm gonna have the flamethrower.
All right.
Was there a latch or something on the door?
It was like molded shut on the inside, I think is...
No, the
Power.
loft door.
The loft
there-
door was just open.
Oh, gotcha.
The loft
You
door
saw
was...
mold at the rim of it, but that was like, this is alien's hallucination.
Yeah, I think as far as I remember, Hematite was able to crawl into the loft.
Yeah, it's a fairly large loft door.
Okay, so there's no way to shut it.
I mean, it's a loft door on the outside of the building that just kind of, it's like on a track, like wheels on top of the door that hold it on a track, and you just slide it over. So you could close it.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if we throw the Molotov in and then close the door, that's at least another barrier.
I agree with this plan.
All right. So whoever's got good aim, go wild with the Molotov, and the door, I will, while you were getting that set up, we'll spread some gas around the perimeter. And as soon as you get outside of the gas rings, we light a rope and light it all up.
Remind me what's skill or stat we use to throw the Molotovs.
I mean, I feel like if we climb up the ladder to close the door,
Oh,
it's
it won't
just a
matter.
lop in the door.
That's fair.
I think it was
Uh,
athletics before,
Correct.
Okay, because
which
I'm
is
not very
why
athletic.
I have a 33 minus 20, so I've got to roll under a 13.
I've got a 30.
I have a 50.
Okay.
You're also tired though.
Nope, I'm on coffee.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if 3 hours has passed. If it has, I'm gonna chug more coffee if that's possible. Jim?
Yes. Sorry, I was reading something. What? My bad.
Has 3 hours passed?
Has 3 hours passed? You're probably getting pretty close to the end of it, but no, I think it's like an hour and a half-ish drive in this direction. You probably spend like a half hour doing stuff and then driving out to this farm. You're probably at like 2 hours and 15 minutes, 2.5 hours, somewhere in that ballpark. So you're getting close to the end, yeah.
Okay, so I don't have the minus 20 yet.
Not yet, no. Depending on how long you take to set up, though, you might.
Probably a good idea to just have some coffee anyway.
Yeah. So do I
Yeah,
roll
so
another d6?
So if you are doing more caffeine, yes, you roll another d6 to see how many hours it lasts, and you also subtract, I think it's 1d4 from your willpower, but I want to double check that.
An additional D4 on top of the willpower from using coffee.
Yeah, using the coffee the first time doesn't cost willpower, but the second dose of stimulants for the day of any kind, including coffee, is 1d6 willpower points of damage to your willpower points. But it
Yeah, it's the
does
same as how
offset.
many hours you get from it, right?
Yeah. I think it's two
I
separate
vaguely
rolls.
remember from when Hallow used caffeine the first
Yeah.
time.
They're both d6, but you roll both because I mean, that's more chances for the game to fuck you, or more chances for the game to be
Yay.
lucky. But
Right.
also different stimulants can have
Hours.
different die rolls. So
Hours and will.
all right,
Oh, nice.
you got lucky. Okay, so you have 6
Nice.
hours of time now, and you only took 2 points of willpower point damage.
I'm now like jittery, ready to throw this in the building.
Yeah.
As soon as we get there, Hematite's gonna get the gas cans and start pouring circles around the building. 2 rings
All
like
right.
they talked about.
I have a question then. Are you doing so somewhat stealthily, or are you rushing, or somewhere in the middle?
We didn't attract, like, we weren't super quiet last time, if I remember. And we didn't cause a ruckus until we started flaming things.
It's probably best not to rush though, and
Yeah.
Hallow will help out with setting up the perimeter.
Yeah, not like running around or like making noises, just like walking at a decent pace in a circle with the can pouring.
Okay. So you do that. You start pouring the gas around the outside of the place. Fair enough. I assume Hunter is assembling the flamethrower.
Yes.
All right. So you get to work on that. What is High Tide doing? Besides chugging coffee.
I will set up the ladder.
Okay. I guess I'll ask: are you being stealthy, or are you just seeing everyone else as being normal? You're just gonna walk up and slap it against the wall.
I'll be normal.
Okay. So at a normal pace, you start setting things up.
I obviously don't go up and like slam it against the wall, but I try to be
Yeah.
a little reasonable with it.
So it is going to take a little bit for Hunter to assemble the flamethrowers. What do you guys do with your time? Because it's not going to take you that long to just walk in a circle around the building, pouring gas everywhere, or setting up a ladder. So you got some minutes to spare.
Keep an ear out for the police cars pulling up.
Okay. Give me an
Oh,
alertness test. Anyone who
I
wants
think
to do
also I'd move vehicles in such a way that they would be not visible from the road if possible.
that. Okay. Yeah, you can definitely pull them somewhere around behind the crops or like behind a building or something. Yeah, that's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
Buffy makes me very alert.
So, yes, high tide. You're sipping coffee, maybe more aggressive than sips, but you're standing kind of at the edge of the road and like looking back and forth, just trying to see, kind of tucked into the trees a little bit here, trying to see if you can spot anyone coming down either road here. And while Hunter is almost finished with the, pretty much done with the flamethrower, actually, you can see in the distance, coming from town, is a car. You can't quite tell what car it is, but it does look familiar to you. Just a little too far away now to see, but it could be a cop car.
Sometimes.
Is it approaching at a reasonable speed or is it really fast?
It's not like driving dangerously, but it's above the speed limit. Yeah.
All right, I will. How far is the barn from the road?
A few hundred feet, probably, I'd say.
And we moved the cars out of the way of the road.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't
And we already have the ladder set up.
matter. Exoskeletons are probably going to take up most of your space.
I guess.
If you want, we can move the cars to make a barricade in the little time that we have.
Yeah, I'll go kind of like wave everyone and like point down the road because I don't think I have enough time to get up and tell people.
Okay.
Is-
Uh,
Is the
Make a
flamethrower
barricade.
set up?
Yeah, the flamethrower's done. Hunter's just like finishing getting everything ready. Is back around behind the house from the side of the roads that the cars are hidden. So close to the barn.
I would probably make motions just like go time. You just gotta go.
Yep. And I was gonna call out to Hunter. Hey, so my car is actually also kind of a work car. Do you mind if we barricade with your truck?
Do it.
All right.
I throw the
so-
keys just like halfway across the yard as far as they'll go. They'll probably just land on the ground.
Yeah, I'll scoop them up and go pull your car out and like park it across kind of the drive or approach to block the ladder access, kind of block access to the barn as much as you can with it.
Okay.
Who's got the Molotovs? Because I was gonna just before the cop gets here get the fire going.
Those were in Hello's car, so you can
Oh
easily.
no, I'm holding two of them at this point.
Oh, great.
And my plan is to try and throw one at the top of the stairs, one in like the middle of the loft, and close the door as I'm like going down the ladder. I don't know if that's too much in one turn, but
It would probably be two separate turns to do both. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you're rate limited by That's
I'd let you either throw a Molotov and go down the ladder, or throw both and remain at the top of the ladder until the next
no,
turn.
look at the backbone behind the yellow splitter of the.
Or you could drop from the ladder and take damage.
was-
Remember, you're also trying to close the door.
Oh, that shouldn't be the case either.
Yeah, you're somewhat limited in what you can do on a turn
Okay,
here.
that's better.
But yeah, you can throw both if you want to. It's just gonna probably cost you some health getting down the ladder, like so fast you're just falling. But or you can play it safe. That's up to you.
Um,
Well, it might not be safe depending on your definition of safe.
No,
yeah, in terms of
it should be
throwing one, closing the door, and going down the ladder, is that too much?
I think if you throw one and close the door, you'd have to drop the ladder. I think going down the ladder safely, you're only going to be able to do one thing up there, because just going down a ladder safely it's just going to take more time. You only got like a couple seconds here to do stuff on a turn.
Yeah. How much damage would you take from dropping?
That is a good question. I assume a decent amount, because this is not D&D.
Yeah, I mean, bones are fragile.
2d6 damage.
I think you missed
That has the potential to kill me.
That has that has potential to knock you out or kill you.
That's falling on
You're
your neck
lucky.
and dying.
Yeah. I'd maybe
Alright,
give
I
you a skill test of some kind to see if you could control the fall, and that would reduce it to 1d6, but that would depend on your roll.
If you would just like slide down the ladder, probably still dangerous, but probably less so than
I'd say-
jumping off.
Yeah, I'd give you a skill test for that.
Which skill?
Maybe athletics, or I feel like there's another one that's more agility based, but I can't remember what it is. It might just be athletics.
There's dodge, but that.
Nah, I think it'd be athletics.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna try to do 2 and then slide down the ladder.
Okay, so we'll get to that when we get to that. I'm glad we had the discussion ahead of time. But for now, Hallow, can I get a drive check from you to place that car quickly? Is the way this roll is going. If you fail the roll, you're gonna have a hard choice of either getting it done slowly or you got it done. Okay, so you get the car over there. You slide it into position quickly. It's it's a tricky thing to get the car to fit into a gap sideways that blocks another car from driving around without while actually driving the car into the location that's essentially blocked in. Right, you kind of have to slide yourself into the spot, which you do. Then you get out of the car and
expensive driving courses.
yes, and then do you just book it for the house? Where are you headed?
I think he takes up position like on the other side of Hunter's truck, like behind the bed, but also like ready to jump out of the way if the sheriff is, just gonna try and ram the truck.
Here's a fun
Okay.
lesson.
Sort of at the edge, at the back of the bed, ready to just leap if you need to.
That's-
Yeah.
that system's
all right.
never gonna run at full speed.
And is everyone else in go time? Is that what you said? Are you just starting to climb the ladder, High Tide?
Yeah, I think Hematite said go time, so
Yeah, I think Hematite's gonna lay the rope and back away. And basically, as soon as all of our guys are on the outside of the circle, rope goes on fire.
Okay. So High
So,
Tide,
yeah.
you have the highest initiative here. We're gonna enter initiative.
On method is direct.
Let me kick
So you put
this on.
firewall sheets
So, High Tide, you're at the top of the ladder.
and just
You are throwing both Molotovs, right? Or are you throwing one, closing the door?
throwing both and sliding down the ladder.
Throwing
Is-
both, sliding down the ladder. Yeah.
I would rather have more fire for them to have to climb through.
also
Okay. So we can, you know what? Let's just roll this all into. Actually, this will be two separate athletics checks. I think that makes sense. One to throw and one to safely descend. These are two separate steps. So we'll just see how accurately you throw. So
unit
you,
sliding down.
yeah. Unfortunately, your instincts tell you to play it safe with gravity a little bit, and that keeps you from focusing on throwing the Molotovs. So you just kind of chuck them in, and both land in the loft right in front of you. They don't quite, like, they hit a railing inside. They don't quite go sailing over where you want them to. Your momentum shifts as you throw them, and then you grab the ladder and slide down, just getting out of there, focusing on that more than anything. So you safely make it to the bottom of the ladder. Then the sheriff's car pulls into the drive, and he stops the car outside the truck. Where is everyone else? Where are Hunter and Hematite? I don't know if I gathered that.
I am in front of the barn doors, I believe.
Just ready with the flamethrower?
Yes.
Standing a bit of a distance away from the loft, because she's gonna light the rings of gasoline as soon as
Yeah. Okay.
High-Tide makes it outside of them.
Yeah, was she waiting for High-Tide to come out, basically?
Yeah, basically
Okay.
as soon as High-Tide comes out, the rope and the outermost ring go up.
Okay, so I'll allow you, if you want to spend your turn early here. It's kind of how reactions work in this game, is you just take your turn earlier than you would in response to something else. So if you want to do that and just light that now, you can. You just won't get a turn later in this particular round, since you were, standing there waiting.
Did High-Tide make it outside of the rings or just to the ground?
We'll say you probably rolled out of the way. I assume the intention was to get out of the way of the fire, so I'm not going to stop him in there.
Come up.
All right. So Hematite lights everything up. The sheriff pulls into the drive and stops in front of the truck, and just immediately opens up the door, and you can see he's got a shotgun. Very familiar to you. It's only been a few hours since you last saw this shotgun. And if you weren't adapted to violence, Hallow, this would probably send some shivers through you. But thankfully, you just see this as a problem and not a terrifying threat in front of you. Just like, God damn it, something to deal with. And he just kind of opens up his the door to his cruiser and hides behind it, and he's got this shotgun primed, you can see. But he can't do anything else than that. But he is clearly in, like, full combat mode. He's not, like, searching this time. Hunter, you are at the door with the flamethrower.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start torching. I don't care whether things are coming through or not yet.
All right, so
Was I able to convince everybody to actually dump a gasoline ring around us and light it up behind us?
yes.
Yeah, that
Okay.
was
Okay.
Hematite's turn.
Gotcha.
it's around the building, at least. I didn't gather if there was gas
Yeah.
around you.
Oh, I'm definitely standing inside the ring.
Okay.
I guess if it's wide enough for that to be possible.
Yeah, I'll ask Hematite and Hallow, what were you picturing with the ring? Because I was picturing, like, around the foundation.
Yeah. So there was like a ring around the building itself, and at least one outer ring as well.
Okay, so 2 rings. So Hunter is standing between the rings of fire and just starts spraying fire up into the building. But you did not close the door, right? It's just fire is in there?
Correct.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think in that case, Hematite would have dropped run between the rings and dropped the lighter in the closer ring, leaving the rope as, like, our timer.
As your timer to get out of the outer ring. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
And she's
Hunter
going to book it
starts-
straight out of the outer ring.
Sounds good. So Hunter books it. Hunter is spraying fire. Hematite has escaped, but High-Tide is still within the outer ring, not within the inner ring, with Hunter. Hallow, it is your turn. You are behind the truck with the cop right nearby.
He's going to just let's see. He's gonna make sure that he's actually, better idea. Can he slip into the cab of the truck stealthily on the other side? Like,
Like
try
on
and
the
get
side
into the
away?
cab. Yeah, just try and
Yeah.
get into the cab in a way that the sheriff can't see that he's getting in.
Sure, yeah, you can roll a stealth test for that.
I'm not good at that. Yeah, I know.
All right. So, you you open the door to the truck, and at that exact moment, a shot rings out that shatters the window of the opposite door of the truck. So you know you've been spotted.
Okay, well, he wasn't expecting to not be seen eventually, so that's fine. But so the door's open. Can he reach in and turn the truck on with the rest of my turn?
You know, since you're adapted to violence, the shot probably didn't shock you. So I'll say, give me a dexterity check to see how quickly you can do this. If it can fit in this turn or not, because
Yeah.
normally you should kind of fail this if you... Okay, but with the dexterity check, I'll allow it. So you reach in, even under the threat of gunfire, and just turn on the car. But that's the end of your turn. What were you hoping with the car turning on?
To next turn, hit the sheriff with it.
All right. So
The sheriff got out of his car and is standing on the other side. That's a
Indeed.
meat bag.
Well, he's like next to his car with the door open. Yeah, kind of hiding behind the door. But yes, he
Yeah.
is nearby. High Tide. You are at the base of the barn, outside the ladder, outside the ring of fire. What are you doing?
Run into where hematite is outside the other ring of fire, and
All right.
I guess I'll get my pistol ready to shoot this sheriff because I shot the sheriff. Hopefully,
True. All right.
and I don't like the shotgun.
At this point, you see a figure appear in the door once again. Something you have all seen at this point. I think even High Tide has now, right? You saw them on fire last time?
Saw 3 of them last time.
Yes, okay, I thought so. It's no longer a new sight for you all. So you see this thing emerge, burning from the barn. And it's just that same, like, TV static scream. And it's kind of flickering in and out. But, Hunter, since you were spraying at it, you can go ahead and roll a firearms test to see if you hit it. Alright. You can go ahead and roll damage for, I guess it's lethality, because it's flamethrower. So, yeah, just roll a D100 and we'll add the digits if it's more than 10%.
Is that a 2d10? Or is it specifically a 100?
Do a D100 because it does have lethality. Oh, okay. So, you see for a brief moment, Hunter, this thing, this dog you've killed before, it almost seems to, like, phase out. Like, it kind of, like, glitches away. But you remember how fast they were moving before. You remember how much you have to aim ahead of them. And you just snap your flamethrower up in that direction. And this thing kind of phases out of reality, then phases back into it a few feet away, outside of where the fire was before. But you've already got fire pointed in that direction now. And it just collapses to the ground, trying to fly away, but now just falling, rolling over, as it sort of dies like an insect, where it kind of curls up and its legs are all twitching, and it's just screaming as you burn it away. It eventually just kind of dissipates into like this, not dust, but like something weirder, like a fog, like a thick purple fog that just kind of disperses out and burns and turns into smoke. And then it is the sheriff's turn. The sheriff is going to... he's just going to take aim with a shotgun. He'll be ready. It is now Hunter's turn.
Sorry, did you say it was Hunter's turn again?
Yes, it is Hunter's turn again.
Okay. He is going to spray more fire directly where the dog came from then.
All right, you're spraying in that direction, hoping to catch another one. Hallow and Hematite, it is both of your turns, in whatever order you wish.
You can go first.
Go for it.
Awkward.
You both
Oh, I
stand
said
at a door.
go for it.
No,
You
I
both did.
also just said two.
Oh, sure, why not? I don't really have much I can do, but I have, mace and a flashlight. So I'm just gonna, since I'm coming from the back of the barn, I'm just going to let out a scream and run around the barn
All right.
and fling my flashlight at the sheriff.
The sheriff is several hundred feet away.
Okay.
You
Well,
could still throw
then
your
I'm just-
flashlight in that direction.
I'm just screaming and charging him.
Okay.
Okay.
Mace at the ready.
I'll
think.
slip into. Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. You're good.
Because my plan is to slip into the cab and start, drive directly at the police cruiser, kind of directly where I think the sheriff is behind it.
Okay.
Let's
Well,
try and
I'm-
T-bone it while he's behind it.
Yeah, and I'm being distraction because I don't have firearms and I don't know how to use them very well.
Yes. So give me a drive test then. Hello.
But
Unfortunate. You just hop in and just try to get this car moving while staying low and trying to stay out of like gunfire angle, basically, and try to get it in that direction. And you do successfully. You're just not quite fast enough. You can see as you kind of peek up over the dashboard as you make impact with the cruiser, the sheriff has dodged off to the side, and he is then, since he has been safe and you didn't succeed, so he didn't need to roll dodge. He's just gonna fire back at you with a shotgun. So I get to do a D100 roll if my keyboard.
how
will
much cover does the truck door give me?
Definitely some. Go. Taylor, let me double check this. This is worth looking up. Because you essentially get armor for cover, but I don't remember how much armor you get while being behind cover. It depends on the surface, I believe. So let me just... Oh, I believe I have this in my notes, actually. I'm sorry for pausing things, but this is an important note, because a player character life is on the line. I assume Dan's not in danger.
If Hallow dies, I will die in real life.
That is how it works. Okay. Armor reduces damage taken by the armor value, so it's a flat damage reduction. I think this would probably count as 5 points of armor rating based on this chart, being inside the truck. So you essentially will subtract 5 points off of whatever he shoots you with here. But
Okay. Assuming he hits.
Yeah, first assuming he hits, and then also assuming he doesn't just get the lethality, because that
would
ignores
not
cover.
be fun.
That's just a headshot. So, okay, so he definitely fails the shot with a 96 on the roll, which is not nice for the record. And so he, just shoots directly into this, like the side of the truck door there, and it just makes a big dent, tears a hole in the side, but does not penetrate it to hit you on the other side. So you just hear that boom. You see the truck door get hit, but you're fine for now. So Hematite, you're just screaming and running. We're back to high tide.
All right. I'm not good at firearms, but I don't like this officer, and he's now in the open right now, so I'm going to miss.
He is. I was gonna say, what gun do you have? A light pistol?
Yeah.
The base range on that would be 10 meters. And this is definitely outside that. I think you take a penalty on rolls for that. But yeah, anyways, you failed, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. Yeah. So you failed the shot, but yes, he's several hundred feet away from you because he's up the drive where Hallow blocked him at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, just trying to be another distraction, and he like,
Yeah.
wait, who do I shoot?
Hey, you never know if you just hit the nat one out of nowhere, right? It could happen. So you start just shooting that direction. Back to the dogs. Another one emerges, but this time, I'm gonna roll a d100 here because, yes, you see that same. Joanna, we're getting a little bit of background noise. By the way.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good. Just I keep on getting distracted. Appreciate it. Sorry. Yeah, the you see the same kind of flickering, glitching effect as before, but this time it doesn't come through the door. This thing just kind of phases through the wall. You can see it almost like a video game glitching one thing through another object, but it's almost like half phasing out of reality as well. It's becoming somewhat transparent, and there's all these like visual, almost like video corruption effects on it as it's like just crushes through this wall and makes it out the other side. And as it does so, it doesn't leave a hole in the wall behind it. It appears to have just kind of phased through. So Hunter, if you're still spraying at it, you can roll me a firearms test, but this will be at a -20. Ooh.
Woo! Second crit fail of the evening.
This is fun. Let me double check because crit fails in combat with a weapon are more fun.
Maybe for you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have fun too.
I remember there being a fumble table I included somewhere, which is part of the game, not just a fumble table I made up. Yes, here we go. Fumble suggestions. I think you are very distracted by this. And also, everyone who saw that phasing effect, give me a sanity test. Which I think right now is just Hunter and High Tide. So High Tide's okay. Hunter, though, is not doing quite as well. You're going to suffer 1 sanity from unnatural to see this weird effect, and that's what distracts you. So under distraction, you're going to suffer a -20% penalty to your next test. Due to, being very distracted by this unnatural sight you just saw. But you do miss. And so this dog, though a bit on fire, not nearly as on fire as the last one you saw, tries to fly away. It still has its wings intact, and it just kind of starts to soar up and away. It's moving pretty quickly. You're gonna have to act quickly to catch it.
Wings?
So, yes, it unfurls these. I call them wings. They're not like massive bird wings. They don't have feathers. They're more like fins that kind of stick out on its back, and it doesn't make sense at all why it could fly, which again seems unnatural to you. It's like it just kind of doesn't have gravity, and it just kind of jumps off the edge of the thing and kind of floats away, like it's being lifted by a telekinetic force rather than any kind of natural movement, as it just flies up and away. But it does have these little stubby like fins on its back that look like they could be wings.
Well, that's new.
Well, they tried to fly last time. They just were on fire and died. Yes, it's kind of an awkward flight movement. It doesn't move like incredibly swiftly like a bird would or anything. It's just, it's getting away because it's up in the air. So Hallow and Hematite, what is up? Hallow and or Hematite.
Well, I'm charging the cars.
Okay. I think you might still be a bit away. It's going to take you multiple turns to get there because it's a bit of movement, but you get like halfway there at this point if you're just running. Are you trying to like take cover while you run? Or are you just going wild straight in?
screaming and trying to be as much of a distraction as possible.
Okay.
Because I don't really have anything else to do with myself.
So, Hallow, you just hear Hematite screaming behind you.
Fun.
But it's like unhinged cry of rage kind of screaming. Not like
War
afraid.
cry kind of screaming.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Hello,
yeah. So Hallow hears her screaming in. The sheriff is still out in the open, so he's going to peek out through the very busted window and take a shot at the sheriff with his shotgun.
All right. Firearms test. Yeah, I think the sheriff kind of dove to the ground and then fired up at you. So he's just on the ground right now. He can't really dive for cover, so you're gonna hit him here. You're just using a pistol, right? Like a light
It's
pistol.
a shotgun.
Oh, you had a shotgun, right? Okay.
Yes.
Captain the cars.
So then this shotgun would be a 2d8 damage.
Yes. Oh.
Oh.
That is very unfortunate. So you shoot down at him and you maybe graze him with it, and you see like blood on his shoulder. And he winces in pain, maybe even shouts. But he's still going. He kind of rolls in the opposite direction of that shoulder onto the other shoulder, and like kind of rolls behind his cruiser again in that direction, and it starts to stand back up.
Do we have any more Molotovs anywhere?
I had 4, so there were 2 more.
But are you in your car or Hunter's truck?
I'm in Hunter's truck.
Right. High Tide, you are up.
All right. I'm not good at shooting, but the thing is already off the ground, so I'm going to attempt to shoot it,
Go for it.
which is not good. I wish you could multi-click it because I failed like 5 firearms checks.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah, so you just shoot wildly at this thing in the sky, and you're just not quite hitting it. You're not as good with a pistol as some of these other folks are. And so... I think it is going to, now that it's hovering up in the air, and it is a little on fire, but the fire's starting to dim a bit, like it's starting to go out. And this thing is going to lift what looks like a claw, but the claw opens, and you can see the barrel of a gun sticking out of this claw, pointed down at you, High Tide. And it's going to make a bit of a roll. Actually, this would be aimed at Hunter with the flamethrower, I'm sorry, but it does fail either way. You see it charge up some energy in this gun, and it fires like a strike of lightning that hits right next to Hunter. So just this boom of lightning and thunder erupts, but there's no storm, and it's confusing. It doesn't hit so close to Hunter that it like hurts him, but it's like a handful of feet away, and definitely shocks you. And there's like some heat you can feel nearby, but it doesn't quite get close enough for the heat to even hurt you. But it's surprising as heck. So that is it. Missed, so that's its turn. Another one emerges from the barn at this point. Once again, trying to phase through the wall. We'll see if it can. It does, and in fact, it does so incredibly quickly. So it just, it almost just kind of appears outside the wall. It doesn't look like it struggles to get through it. It just is on the other side of the wall, not on fire at all, and just starts flying up into the air out of the way, just trying to get an aerial advantage on you.
Alright, can I burn this one that just appeared?
You absolutely can. Give me a firearms check at -20% because you were distracted. You don't even need it. You don't even need the bonus. You're fine.
What a guy.
So, you aim up at this one. You're ready for it. You're ready for another one to pop out of this thing. So as soon as it appears, just flick the flames over to it. Go ahead and roll lethality. So a D100. Okay, so that's 5 points of fire damage then. We just add the digits together because it was not under the 10%. So, You get it, and it's a little on fire, and it floats up with the other one. And now both of them are kind of similar amounts of on fire, but again, the fires are starting to dim as they rise in elevation. Back to the sheriff, who is alive and is going to take a shot at Hallow. Hallow, you're kind of behind cover in the car, so you still have that armor. The sheriff, double checking his firearms real quick. That is a miss. Okay. So he cocks the shotgun, shoots at the truck once again. Glass goes flying everywhere. Bullets sink into parts of the truck. It's bad, but none of it hits you. You're safe for now. And then it is Hallow and Hematite's turn as well. The sheriff now, I'll describe him as he kind of gets up, and even though like he's got a serious wound on his left shoulder, he is still almost emotionlessly just stood up and like walking towards you with the shotgun, walking around to a different angle where he can shoot at you with the shotgun, seemingly not caring for his own life at all.
I think I would like to, if there's a chance I can go try and fetch the Molotovs out of a car at this point. I've been running for a bit.
Okay, I think we might have a slight misunderstanding of the
Oh, right, that's the car
locations
that's
here.
out of the way, isn't it?
That's the car that's behind the house. Yeah, so you're halfway from the house to the cop. You could go back. You could spend your turn going back that way, but yeah.
Does it look like anyone else is going for them?
Going for the cop? Just
The
Hallow.
Molotovs.
Oh, going for the Molotovs. I mean, High Tide and Hunter are shooting at dogs.
That is a strong word.
Attempting. Shooting in the direction of.
I mean, I really can't do much, so I might as well turn around.
Alright, so you just scream in rage running at this cop and then stop scraping to a halt on the dirt road and then turn around and run back the other way. So you take your whole turn, but you do get back to that car at this point. And so, Hallow. You have a Terminator cop next to you.
Yep. He's still kind of just out in the open, like on the ground, or he stood up and tried to shoot in.
He's stood up, but he's kind of rotating around the car, trying to get at an angle where the car doesn't protect you. Trying to get closer so you can either like lean up over the window or something. Just getting closer.
Okay. In that case, I will back the truck up and try to hit him with it again. Just kind of try to do a quick, or even like whichever side of the truck he's on, like crank the wheel and just do a quick rapid turn and move, and just try and put a little distance in the same.
I will allow this, but I'll say it's a drive with a 40% penalty because the truck has taken several shots to like the engine area at this point. So it's you just kind of unlucky
that just
right now.
wouldn't even work.
Yeah, there's that would be the problem if you fail the roll. Is just you're unlucky and the engine is broken. But yeah.
Okay, but it also means I can't shoot him if I do that.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Can I just shoot him then?
Yeah, you could just shoot him.
Yeah, I'll just shoot him.
Might get a lucky shot. That is
Kaboom.
a success, not a crit, but it is a success. So roll that shotgun 2d8. Oh,
That's a
all right.
shotgun shot.
Boom! Center of mass. You can see he's wearing a Kevlar vest. It gets kind of shredded. And he just goes flying backwards from the blow, like lands a couple feet behind him, just stumbles to the ground. And yeah, he's very bloody at this point, but he's not down yet. He's just on the ground, and you've severely wounded him, but he's not dead. You can see him starting to pick himself back up. In fact, give me a sanity roll at witnessing this. You lose 1 point from the unnatural after witnessing a man take what should have been a lethal blow and just stand back up again.
Once you have the chance to test, it's your possible on that.
High Tide! more shooting at dogs? Are you taking cover? What you doing? They are throwing
Uh,
lightning at you, or attempting to.
Well, they were throwing lightning at Hunter.
Sure.
How long until the second ring of fire goes up?
Good question. How long did you want it to go? Oh, I guess I'll ask Hematite. How long did you want the ring of fire to have a fuse for?
I don't know. I was, however far we put them apart and however fast the rope burns.
Hey, give me a luck roll, High Tide.
A luck roll.
Alright, do you want the fire to be up yet or not? Since you
No.
succeeded. Okay, so it's not up yet, but it will be soon.
Yeah, at this point, I've seen fire be effective against these people, so I am also gonna run to the SUV with the Molotovs.
Okay. So you
'Cause
meet Hematite
guns are
around
not
back.
working.
Sounds good. The dogs are both going to fire lightning. One at Hunter. First off. Fail. Second at Hunter. Fail. You are very lucky today, Hunter, as they both of them just maybe the fire has tweaked their abilities a little bit. They're not quite their biology is not working exactly like they hope it does. Their arms don't point in exactly the direction they want to hit you. And so the lightning just crackles around you, hitting the ground in multiple places nearby, and your ears are ringing from the sound. But you're alive, and so far, unharmed. The sheriff is now going to take a shot at Hollow. He's going to get up. I cannot roll for shit tonight. And he's just going to hit the door to the truck again. Not actually hitting anything important. And then Hallow. Or Hunter, sorry. Hunter first, then Hallow and Hightech.
Gonna spray and pray in the direction of dogs.
Okay. I like that. Let me double check how far a flamethrower can reach, because these guys have an ascending. Just want to make sure. Okay, it's got a 10-meter range. I think that might be just on the edge of it, so take a 20% penalty, and they might try to fly higher after this, but for now... okay. So you just fire up into the air, and they kind of shimmy up out of the way. They kind of like do that weird... The way they move through the air doesn't, like I said, doesn't look like a bird. It almost looks more like they're leaves falling, but in reverse, upwards. It's kind of like a weird swoopy motion that doesn't make any sense. So they just kind of shimmy up into the air a little bit out of the way. And you think they're now out of range of your flamethrower from where they're positioned. Hallow and Hematite, what are you doing?
Now I'd like to try and... Well, no, the truck is still fucked. I'm just going to try and finish off the sheriff. Or at least put him into unconscious.
Okay, go for it. He's just kind of standing
Don't fail
close
me
to
now.
the truck again.
Oh!
It failed you now, unfortunately. You try to peek up. The sheriff's just getting so close to the truck at this point that you're kind of hiding inside and peeking up and firing instead of like taking proper aim. And because of that, you just miss. Unfortunately, you played it a little too safe. And that was your turn. So, Hematite, you have acquired Molotovs.
How far away are these guys from us?
At least 15 meters up in the air.
So not throwing range.
Yeah, not really. I mean, with a really good toss, if they were on the ground, you could probably hit that kind of range, but no, from here, trying to hit a target that's flying up in the air precisely with something thrown like that is it's gonna be pretty hard. Because I'm looking at the charts here, and a grenade has a 20-meter range for throwing. It's just, you know, trying to hit something up in the air, that's gonna be hard.
Okay. Hmm. To figure out what to do.
I mean, at this point, if your character doesn't think they can do anything useful, they could dive for cover, because these things are shooting guns down. Probably better than standing out in the
Lightning
open.
guns?
Do we
Lightning
think
guns.
we're still in the range of their weapons? They're just out of the range of ours?
They have
the
alien
weapons,
magic. They can probably hit us from space.
The weapons they're firing at you are not anything you've seen before. You have no idea what range they have. They're basically pointing weapons down at you, and then it just summons lightning from the sky. Who knows what the range is of that?
Alright, I'm gonna try and throw another Molotov at the barn.
Okay, athletics check.
See what happens. No.
Oh,
I mean, it
barely.
splashes on the side of the barn, and it's now more on fire. You just don't get it in the barn. You do hit the broadside of the barn.
Cool.
Alright,
That's
High
all.
Tide. You have
All
acquired
right,
Molotovs.
What? No. If Hematite picked them both up, there are no more Molotovs.
Okay,
No, I think Hematite grabbed one.
you have acquired and Molotov.
Well, I think having seen them far in the air, what is the most powerful gun in Paolo's car?
There's another shotgun in there.
Are there any assault rifles?
That's up to the GM. I do not think the fact one.
I mean,
Probably not.
I feel like you're getting into the range where it's harder and harder to acquire stuff. Yeah, if you want to requisition stuff like that, you absolutely can try. It's going to be pretty harsh rolls, but yeah, you can try.
No, I just wanted to see if there was one.
So you got another shotgun in there, then.
Do we know that shotguns have that range?
Shotguns have a pretty high range. Surprisingly, I mean, they're not video game shotguns. Have tricked people into thinking shotguns have a very light range, but yeah,
I
they're
didn't know
Kind of
if it was
well
broken
within
in
range.
real life.
They're
I didn't
kind of
know if it was
broken
a
in real life.
buckshot or a single shell.
Yeah, these are. I mean, according to the rules of Delta Green, both have a 75-meter range before you take any aim penalty. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not good at guns, but more powerful gun works, right?
And you can at least
yeah.
get it closer.
No, it doesn't.
You can at least get the gun closer to Hunter,
Yeah.
who is good at guns.
The storage will be.
So you have acquired a shotgun and fired it into the air, and it's a surprising kick because it seems like your character may have never fired a shotgun before, but you completely miss. And yeah, you're just shooting bullets up into the sky, hoping it hits something. All right, I'm gonna emphasize again how lethal it seems that these guys are throwing lightning down at you guys. And I know you're not scared of violence, but you can't get your job done if you die, and there's still that consequence that your characters can probably think about. It would be
Yeah,
an
but if you die, we
inconvenience to
wake up.
die, you know? It's suboptimal to die. So
It's kind of cringe to die.
it's kind of cringe to die. So they're gonna fire lightning down again once more at Hunter because, actually, no. Now Hunter is no longer the threat because Hunter doesn't have range on the flamethrower. Now the closest threat is High Tide. So I'm gonna throw lightning at High Tide. They miss. This one actually hits the house near where High Tide was standing because the car was parked back there. Just lightning strikes the house. Now the house is on fire too. The other one's gonna fire. This one's gonna hit. Now I roll another D100 for lethality. It's not a lethal shot from the lethality, but that is 13 points of damage.
That is me unconscious.
Unconscious or dead?
Is 0 dead?
0 is dead. 1 or 2 is unconscious in this game, yeah.
I am dead. I had 11 health.
All right. High Tide gets smote by God and just gets crushed to the ground. Just gets absolutely fried and is just on the ground, no longer moving. It is now the sheriff's turn. who is going to shoot back at Hallow. You guys are just having this the firefight with the most misses ever. That is a nice roll of 69, but that is a failure for our poor sheriff. So he has gotten up. He is all
Hallow is
bloodied.
wondering why Hunter is so scared of this guy who can't hit me with a shotgun in the cab of a truck.
I think at this point, in Delta Green, every time you roll an attack, it doesn't necessarily mean one bullet. It can be spraying a few shots. So I think at this point, he has run out of shots in his shotgun. He points it at you, actually gets up to the side of the door and aims in at you, and it would be lights out. It would be game over. But he pulls the trigger, nothing happens. He just hears a click, and so he ducks down behind the outside of the truck, and that's all he can do in this round. As he's just up there, he realizes he's empty, and you realize he's empty as well, Hallow. And it is Hunter's turn. Sorry, I've got the order all wrong. Hunter, your flamethrower no longer works, or is not reaching.
So do you think it would be reasonable for Hunter in this mindset to have put his shotgun at his feet before he, like when he was getting himself all set up?
Ooh, his trusty shotgun? Absolutely.
Alright, then he is putting down the flamethrower, he's picking up the shotgun, and he's firing it at the dogs.
Alright. That is a success. Roll that 2d8. Alright. You see one of them, you point up at it, and boom! It lets out this shriek that is, again, just a sharp sound of TV static leaving it, and it drops maybe 10 feet in the air before catching itself again and starting to float back up, but it's clearly, like, stumbling as it flies, very weirdly. You've heard it pretty bad, but it's not down yet. And you're still in range of their shots. Hallow, you've got an opportunity here. The sheriff is out of bullets and may need to sort that out on his turn.
All right. Have I noticed that High Tide is dead?
You've heard lightning coming. It's very, very close and lots of thunder, but that's several hundred feet away, so I don't know.
All right. In that case, we're gonna shoot at the sheriff again and try and finish that job.
And keep in mind, as far as dead goes, you can be resuscitated if people get to you within a few minutes. But yes, yeah, go ahead and try to kill the sheriff. I'm just throwing that out there for everyone. Okay.
That should be it.
2d8. Let's get him. Oh, okay. So at this point, he has shot at the truck. He is out of rounds, and he ducks down outside the truck, and you just, through the shredded window, aim out down at him, and just boom, down at the back of his neck where he's crouching down there, and just between his shoulders and his head is no longer there, and he collapses into a bloody heap on the ground. That is Hallow's turn. Hematite, you see High Tide get absolutely wrecked by lightning.
All right. What kind of roll would be medicine, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a first aid skill.
Yep.
You get
it's
first aid
aid.
kits on you too, right?
Yeah, I have a 10 in first aid, so there's no succeeding this one.
Right, because you're at a minus 20 right now.
Yeah.
And once you fail it, no one else can attempt it, so...
You could, I mean, if you want to save High Tide and you don't know what to do with first aid, you could call an ambulance and they might get here in time. High Tide might have a couple minutes, but you could also see if one of your allies can do first aid. There's options. Just throwing things out there.
Yeah. I do not have a high first aid skill. Put that out there.
I'm near the back of the barn now.
Near the back of the house.
Oh, okay. For whatever reason, I thought I was near the barn. Okay.
Yeah, the house is farther away from the road than the car, than the house. You're behind the house, kind of between the house and the barn. It's kind of what I'm picturing. Oh, Hematite, sanity check from helplessness after seeing an ally get killed. I believe that's helplessness. Yeah, it would be violence if it was against you, but okay. I want to double check the number on this one because this is an important one. Because that makes sense. 1d6 to helplessness. All right, so you are now paranoid as well.
All right. What would a paranoid weaponless? So the one that was hit and dead. Is it like still within shocking range now? Of things?
Still within what range?
Throwing range of things.
I mean, you can try. It's just gonna be hard. Like, I'll give you a penalty on it, but yeah. It's hitting something like the normal roll for throwing a grenade is just to like yeet it at a space on the ground, and then you can kind of be somewhat inaccurate, you know? Like, if it gets close enough, it's fine. If you're trying to hit something that's up in the air, you have to be really precise for it to actually hit and do anything.
I don't have any range things, and I'm not good with guns.
So, do you want to try and resuscitate High Tide?
No, because I'm even worse at that.
Oh, that's right, because of your penalty, right?
Yeah.
You could always call an ambulance.
Well, now that the sheriff is dead, there's time for Hallow to get over there and help. Because now that that threat is gone, he can pivot and help with whatever is still going on behind him.
Let me look at the other list of combat actions just in case something inspires you here too. You can attack, move, you can aim for a bonus on your next turn. You can do a called shot, which is a penalty on your shot, but can do more damage. You can disarm, pin, escape from a pin. You can wait to delay your turn, or you can do anything else that takes only a couple seconds. You can dodge, fight back against melee targets. These are all pretty self-explanatory. I'm scrolling through them, but
Can I just like be as crazy as possible to distract and mess up their aim?
Yeah, that's pretty loud.
you could certainly try. You can roll a skill for that to see if you can do this.
Go with that be?
Good question.
The other option is I start like taunting them to get down here, but I don't think that works.
You don't even know if they speak your language. I mean, you could just roll charisma. See if screaming at them will draw their attention. It's gonna have to be really crazy to draw their attention compared to a shotgun, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, can I, like, was that my action and that's it?
I mean, that's kind of what I was thinking, yeah. Unless, I
Okay.
mean, if you got a suggestion and it sounds fast enough, I'll consider it, but on a critical
Nah.
failure especially, yeah.
Nah.
Okay, so that's your turn. You scream at them, up at them. It has zero effect. In fact, I think they see through your ruse a bit. It looks like, and just both of them very confidently aim down at Hunter specifically. And it is now their turn. So, hope you're lucky, Hunter. That is a critical failure.
Hit the other one.
You
Hit
are
the
Do
other
they
one.
also have fumbles
do.
on their attacks?
So, and this is an attack with a weapon, so it's going to shoot down towards you, but it shoots directly beneath it, technically, and so it gets struck by the lightning that gets summoned from the sky. So it's going to take the lethality rating. You guys are you have a stroke of luck here after a bunch of bad luck. It does not take the lethality, and it is not dead, but it sinks a little bit. Actually, no, it doesn't even take damage, because you see something weird here. With this damage number, this target just phases out as the lightning would have hit it, and it hits the ground, and it's fine. It phases back in afterwards.
Oh shit.
But yeah, hey, you're fighting deadly, deadly monsters. They've got some bullshit, all right? Okay,
I'm
and
still
then...
gonna shoot it in the face.
Well, there's
when-
another
when I
one.
have the opportunity.
When you have the
Maybe if I
opportunity, you can
survive.
certainly try. The other one does hit you. So here comes the lethality. That is a fail on the lethality and 10 points of damage.
Wow,
How's
that
Hunter
hurt
looking?
quite a lot. I'm at 5 HP.
Oh, he's still... He tanks lightning and stays conscious. Insane. All right. So you are up. You are fine. You still have your shotgun in your hands, Hunter. You just experienced the worst pain you have ever felt in your life, but you are fueled by rage and violence at the moment. What are you doing?
I shoot the thing that just shot me.
All right. Take that shot. Let's go.
Ooh, he's
All
a
right.
mad boy.
Roll that 2d8 with the shotgun. Oof, okay. That is not enough to kill it, but it does swoop down even farther. I think this time you've taken out its wings. It falls down to the ground, kind of controlled fall. It kind of swoops down, but it's no longer to like stay up in the air. So it shrieks and squeals as it comes down, and now it lands right in front of you, Hunter. It is like ready to attack you with its claws, but you can tell it's kind of sagging. It's missing some limbs. It's having a bad time. Hematite and Hallow. What are you doing?
Is that thing still on fire anymore?
No, the fire's gone out at this point.
Okay. How close am I to Hunter?
I'm kind of picturing like 20, 30 feet.
Any chance, since it's at point blank, I can just run up and pull the trigger on the flamethrower?
Ooh. I mean, it would take up your whole turn to move there, technically. You can move
Okay.
you can move like 10 feet without like it doing anything, taking your action, but yeah, any more than that. You could throw your Molotov, but you might hit Hunter. Not sure what else you have for options.
I'm pretty sure I'd only grabbed one of them, and I've done that already.
Did
Yeah,
you?
there were 4 total, and there were 2
Uh,
thrown in the attic, and
Oh, you hit the barn. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
You could take High Tide's Molotov that he never threw.
I never picked it up. I picked up the
Oh.
shotgun.
Well, then there's one in the car. That's where it is. That's where the remaining Molotov is.
Okay. Can I just like rush it from behind and start spraying mace at it?
Sure.
I don't know what it's gonna do, but
You run out.
I've
So
got a can of mace.
I think your mace is effectively flavor because it takes your movement to run over there. It takes your whole turn. So you're just running, spraying mace in front of you, probably once again getting it all over yourself. But because you're running into the cloud. But yeah, it doesn't seem to have any effect when you get there. So we'll just call that flavor. And then Hallow. What are you doing?
How far away is Hallow from the action currently?
Several hundred feet. It'll take you a
Okay,
couple turns, probably.
Yeah. So, and the truck is still pretty kerfucked.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, he's just gonna take off. He's gonna put a few more shells in his shotgun, and as he sprints towards the action, trying to not be out in the open so much. He doesn't want to be seen by them yet, just in case.
Right.
But
Okay.
so yeah, he's just heading towards the action.
Sounds good. So you rush in, you get halfway there in this turn, and then it is the dog's turn again. So I think the one on the ground is going to take one last-ditch effort. It is going to just strike out with its claws at you, Hunter, since it's in close range. But it seems kind of slow and cumbersome. It looks like it's not really like a predator. It's not really used to lashing out at things with its claws, but it's still just a large creature. This looks like it'll hurt if it hits you. That's actually a fail. It's not very good at this. It swings forward with its claws and just kind of, it's short. It's like its reach isn't quite long enough to reach you, and it passes inches in front of you, this swipe. And then the other one has its lightning gun. It is going to assess that hematite is not a threat, and it is going to see Hallow approaching and is going to aim at Hallow. Because you have a gun. These things are very intelligent creatures. Not just going to be swayed by people screaming, but it fails. It shoots and it just hits the crops with lightning, and they light on fire. And then it is Hunter's turn. You've got a beast in front of you that has narrowly avoided decapitating you.
How much more can I use my shotgun before I'm out?
Let's see. Do you picture your shotgun as a double barrel or a...
Taylor, am not knowledgeable of shotguns, but he was a farm boy.
Yeah,
So this is a... Yeah.
Well, I'd say just whatever your fantasy is of the gun here. You want to say, if you want to establish that it's a...
Okay. He's probably been
a 12
loading...
gauge or...
He's probably been loading shells in a double barrel from his pockets being full of shells.
Alright.
Alright, so he's gonna fire down at the thing that just landed in front of him.
Alright. That is a success, so roll that damage. Oh god, okay.
Goodness.
So it swings, it misses. You don't know where this thing's eyes are, but you get the feeling you're being watched for just a moment as you pull the trigger, and this thing just once again kind of collapses to the ground and curls up, and its little remaining limbs kind of scatter around and reach for something, and then it poofs into this purple smoke that dissipates once again. One remains. Hallow, you have finished running up. You have arrived at high tide. That is your full turn. And then it is the last... Hematite may go. What does Hematite do?
Can I grab the flamethrower and just start spraying the barn? Because the other
Sure.
guy's out of range now, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm just gonna make sure the barn goes down and make sure that if they've got a shotgun, if like the people who have shotguns have it, I can just be back up with a flamethrower.
Alright. So you just start spraying the barn. It's already very on fire, but you had more fire. And then
Hallow
this
was still
creature...
alive. He goes at the same time.
Yeah, you arrive at the scene at this point. You're just...
Okay.
It takes you the rest of your turn to get there, unless you want to do something else on the way. That's up to you, but...
Nope. As long as he was able to reload a little bit on the way.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, you just throw a couple extra rounds in, and you get there. And then, seeing that you have arrived to the scene with a weapon, it's going to shoot at you, Hallow. The last remaining dog. That is a success with its weapon. So here comes the lethality.
Okay.
Oh, 13 points of damage. That's rough.
So I do have a ballistic vest. Does that reduce the damage that I take? Or does it just give me more HP?
I think in this case, I mean, you're getting struck by lightning. I don't think it...
Yeah.
You've got to protect you
I'm
against
unconscious.
firearms. So,
Because I'm at
Hallow
1
goes
I'm at
down.
1 HP.
Alright, so you're not dying, just unconscious.
Yep.
So, this dog has... You guys are in dire situation here. Hunter, this last alien is floating above you. It is now taken out. We'll say this is the same alien that has taken out 2 of your allies now. What are you doing?
I'm gonna shoot it.
All right. That is a success. Let's see if you can get it. This one was more on fire earlier. Okay, so at this range, only a few pellets hit it, and it just kind of shrieks, and yeah, it's not gone yet. Hematite, what are you doing?
Oh, no, sorry.
I'm gonna keep spraying.
It's so much better.
Did it dip into whatchamacallit range?
No.
Fire? Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep lighting up the barn then.
But yeah, I think at this point the barn is like collapsing in on itself, but you're adding more fire to it just in case. There was some fucked up shit in there. You want it to be ashes. Okay. Well, if you're doing that, I don't see any other reason this alien would do anything else but fire down at Hunter now. It's got the upper hand here, but it fails. And by shooting down at you, it misses, and we'll say this time it hits the house again. And the house is now more on fire as well. And Hunter, you've got another chance here.
I am going. Can I aim for potentially less damage but higher chance to hit?
You can take an aim action. It would consume this turn and give you a bonus next turn.
Okay, I'll take the aim action.
All right, so you steady yourself, preparing, just hoping it doesn't hit you with its next shot, ready to shoot at it. Hematite, you just keep non-burning? Barn's pretty much
I'm
collapsing
guaranteed to fail first aid, so I guess I can call Derringer and tell him to get an ambulance out here.
All right, so you throw the flamethrower aside, you call Derringer, you get things moving as quickly as you can. In the meantime, Hunter and this alien are having a final standoff here. Both of them severely damaged at this point. This is all of the stakes here, basically. The alien takes its gun, aims it down, and pulls the trigger. As a success. It does not hit lethality, but that is 9 points of damage to Hunter.
I'm -4.
So Hunter tanked one lightning, could not tank another. This one stops his heart, and he collapses. Hematite, you are on the phone speaking with Derringer. What do you say? Derringer?
Get ambulances out here. Stat.
Where's here? Where's here?
Just send them to town.
To town. Okay, I can get them to town. I don't know where you are, but yeah, absolutely. They're on.
Farm outside of town.
Okay, so let's say you give him the address, and he starts sending things that way. And
Was that
that's
2 turns?
I mean, a turn is like 2 or 3 seconds, so I assume calling and letting it ring, it's gonna, I mean, it doesn't have to be,
Okay.
but either way, this thing's gonna fire down at you once it gets a turn. So
Ideally, once I think I would have pivoted once I saw Hunter go down.
okay, so you're having
Is
this
that-
conversation, then Hunter goes down.
All right, and then I'm terrible with firearms, but can I go grab the shotgun and see?
Sure, you're close enough.
I might
I'll
get
allow it.
really lucky.
It's possible.
Is possible. It's
You do
not
have
great.
You do have the 20% penalty, but you
Wait,
could
no.
still.
I can't. I have a 20.
So you have a 0% chance of success at the moment.
Okay, never mind. I'll stay on the phone with Derringer.
All right. So you're giving him the address, and that's when the alien takes a final shot, trying to take out the last witness here. And it hits. That is not a lethality, but that is 11. Oh, no, that's 2 points of damage. Maybe it just hits near you.
All right.
Are you
If
running
we-
for cover anywhere, or are you just...
Yeah, I'm gonna take the dodge action this time.
Okay, so the dodge action will get you. So I should clarify. You can't dodge firearms, but you can dodge to cover essentially, and like try to.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
run for cover then.
All right, so you take the dodge action. So go ahead and give me a dodge roll then to see how well you skedaddle for cover. So you don't manage to find any reasonable cover in those couple seconds. It fires again. Success. 5 points of damage.
All right, and it's still out of range of weapons and stuff.
It's out of range of, yeah, I mean, it's got the air superiority here. It's just flown up out of the range of the flamethrower. You could shoot it with a gun. How low on hit points are you? What's your hit points in this one?
Not go through? I'm at 5
Oh.
hit points.
There you go. Now you went through. Yes, 5 hit points. Okay, so you're still up. What do you want to do? You got another chance to live here.
Bottom right.
I guess keep dodging.
Okay. Yeah, skedaddle for cover again. Ooh, nope. You try to get to the house. You've been trying to find anywhere that has cover, but you've kind of been burning everything down. And at this point, even the part of the house you were standing on collapses. You dodge out of the way back into the open. It misses you with the lightning. You got another chance here. Right. You dive into a part of the house that's not fully burnt down yet. Now, this creature's got to come down to your level, and he's going to start walking into the door to try and chase you in with its melee, basically. So it just flies down, swoops down. You think you're safe for a second, and it just kind of appears from above the top of the porch. But it doesn't get to hit you yet. What are you doing? Basically on top of you.
Can I with mace?
Spray it with mace? Sure, go
Actually,
ahead.
no. I'll just because it seemed to really struggle with melee. So
Yeah, you spray, and it seems like this chemical just doesn't have any effect on this alien biology.
okay.
And then it's gonna try and grab you. It succeeds. This grab is with its claws, so you get pinned
Instruction range.
for 4 damage,
I'm at 1 HP.
which makes you unconscious. And that, with everybody unconscious or dead, is how we will leave the end of this episode.
No!
No!
And we will figure out what that means next time.
Oh, gosh.
I've been